Hello, everybody, as I try to move the notification off my screen and knock my phone over. Yes, do I have a thing that holds it? What is it called? A tripod thing? But I never use it. Anyway, hello. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing today? So today I have a really big topic that this is probably one of the questions. Not only do I get asked at least once a day, but I see it in all the menopause Facebook groups I'm in. It's just coming up constantly. And it's, why do I keep waking up at 3 a.m.? Okay. It's not only is it the most common question, but I would say it's probably one of the biggest frustrations most women struggle with. And sometimes the sleep issues have always been there, but then they're worse once you hit perimenopause. And sometimes they were not that bad and then they have become bad. But here's how it looks, right? Maybe you finally fall asleep. Maybe that was challenging to do in itself, or it was easy. Either way, it can show up both ways. But 3 a.m., maybe 4 a.m., you are awake, right? Your body's awake, your mind is racing, and the majority of the time, it's really hard to go back to sleep. That is the dilemma I hear from so many of you. And it's one I remember having way back when. Thank goodness that feels like it was a long time ago, because it was. But so here's what we want to look at. Hormones. Yes, of course. Hormones play a big role here. Not even a question about it. Estrogen and progesterone both support sleep. And when they start to fluctuate, or if they're fully declined, if you're in postmenopause, it can affect your sleep rhythm. Progesterone especially is what's called like the calming hormone. So when it drops, your ability to stay asleep can take a hit. But here is the important part that I don't see, because what I see when people are asking these questions are like, what can I take? Do I need more estrogen? Do I need more progesterone? What supplement do I take? What do I take? What do I take? Some women are taking melatonin. Some women are taking Benadryl. Some are taking trazodone. Some are taking gabapentin. Some are taking other sleep aids. And if they're helping you sleep, I'm happy for you, but these are not fixing the problem, right? These are just Band-Aid solutions. So, and I know women that are taking some of these, especially if it's just HRT, and yet they're still waking up at 3 a.m. And the reason I tell you all of this is because I want to make sure that you see the whole thing, that it's not just about the declining hormones. So even if you are on HRT, if you're struggling with sleep, I would love for your first question not to be, do I need an increase in HRT? I would love for you to look at these next few things, because what really matters for your sleep that we forget about, because it wasn't that big of a deal for a long time, it was about how our day sets us up for night. And this is where the topic of Menopause Awareness Month, lifestyle medicine, really comes into play. So here are 3 things I would love for you to look at besides hormones if you are struggling with that 3 a.m. wake up. Number 1, are you eating enough during the day? If you are under eating, if you are skipping meals, your blood sugar can dip too low in the middle of the night. That triggers cortisol, the stress hormone, to rise and pull glucose back into your system. Cortisol is energizing. So guess what happens? You wake up wide awake, right? So that is number 1. Now, number 2 is stress, cortisol, that's still in your body. If your stress response never really shuts off, your body keeps producing cortisol long after you've laid down. So even if you're exhausted, your nervous system is still in go mode. And here's the problem. If you are one of those people, like 99% of the population, especially the female population, who is in go mode all the time, your cortisol levels, when they stay elevated, it makes it really hard for your melatonin, which is your sleep hormone, to actually do its job and rise, right? Because these two kind of play this kind of game. And at night, we want cortisol to be going down and melatonin to be coming up. And then overnight, it starts to switch out again, right? This is how our body is designed, which is amazing. But if your cortisol never goes down enough because no good stress management practices, it stays here. Melatonin maybe only gets to here. It can't go up as high as it needs. That's also going to factor into your sleep. And don't take melatonin because it makes your body stop producing it. But this is why stress management practices during the day matter so much for sleep at night. You have to learn how to create an off switch for yourself, how to reset your nervous system. All right, the third area to look at is stimulants and sleep. Caffeine afternoon, alcohol in the evening, screens right before bed. All of those can make a 3 a.m. wake up happen or make them even worse because you're too awake. They either keep your cortisol level high, and as I've already said now, like cortisol has a big play in your sleep. Whether it's coming from underfueling, not resetting your nervous system, or these other things that are stimulating your nervous system. And they interfere, again, with your natural melatonin rhythm. When you are scrolling your phone right up until you go to bed, and then you lay down, and maybe you can fall asleep, maybe you can, but if you're waking up much earlier than you would like, that's coming back to cortisol. And every now and again, I know better, but every now and again, I will let myself get scrolling. Sometimes I look at really funny dog videos on TikTok, and you know how it is when you look at one, then it shows you more. And I'll be watching, and all of a sudden I realize an hour has gone by, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I know my sleep is crappy every single time I do that. Every single time. I know it. So I stop myself from doing it. But things like that, eating a lot of sugar or processed food before, or processed snacks close to when it's bedtime, right? Those cause that blood sugar spike and crash that wakes you up a few hours later. So yes, it's hormones, and it's potentially all of these things too. Most of the clients I work with, it's all three of these. It's not just one of them. Now, even when you do wake up at 3 a.m., right? Maybe when you have started to make changes. And again, we can't expect things to just change overnight, right? It takes time for our body to catch up when we've been doing things one way for a long time. Having tools, being prepared with a tool to calm your nervous system to help you fall back asleep, right? The trick is using something that engages both breath and brain. And this is why things like deep belly or box breathing, or progressive PMR, progressive muscle relaxation, are so good, right? So when you do deep box breathing, you inhale for 4, you count to 4, you hold it for 4, you exhale for 4, and then you hold for 4 again. Then you inhale for 4, blah, 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 right? That's a box. Progressive muscle relaxation, you start either at the top of your body or at the bottom of your body, and you tense up your toes, and then you relax them. And then you get to your feet, and you tense and you relax. And then your ankles, and you tense. Both of these, if you can see this, both of them require things of your body and things of your brain. And the reason we have to get the brain involved is so the brain doesn't spiral out behind you, right? If you just think, oh, I'll take a couple deep breaths, but your brain is still spiraling like, oh my God, I gotta get up in 3 hours and I can't go back to sleep. And what's going to happen if I don't go back to sleep? I can't believe I'm awake right now, right? We've all done that. But that just fires up the cortisol in your nervous system even more, right? It's the counting, it's the focus that breaks the mental spiral that keeps you awake. So these are called active relaxation practices, and they are so helpful not only in the middle of the night, but all other times of the day. So let's go back to it. So yes, hormones are part of the picture, but when you zoom out, you have to be looking at everything you're doing during the day. Food, stress, sleep, exercise, what you're thinking, all of it comes into play. Every habit you have is either supporting your body or working against your body. Everything you do during the day is shaping how your night's going to go. And when you start working with your body, that's when things really start to improve. So if you've been waking up at 3 a.m. and you can't figure out why, please start looking at your days. Look at how you're eating. Are you fueling enough? Or are you crashing before, are you crashing throughout the day and then that's happening overnight? How are you handling stress? Are you giving your nervous system a reset? Do you have a practice in place to do that? Most women I start working with don't. I didn't, because no one ever taught us that those things were important. But your menopause body, it's putting its foot down and telling you it's really important. And then you got to look at what's happening in your evening hours. Are you setting your body up for success? Or are you eating tons of sugar, drinking wine, late night screens, right? Those are playing a bigger role. Even if you're wearing blue glasses, it's still playing a bigger role than you might think. And then if you've tried it and you're still struggling, especially as you are working your new habits in, add in active relaxation practices before you reach for supplements. Something that uses both breath and brain, like the box breathing, like PMR. Supplements are not going to be your answer for this. Maybe some of them might help if you're also doing things to support it all. Supplements are not magic solutions. HRT is not a magic solution. But if this is what your nights have been looking like, don't keep waiting it out, hoping it's going to pass. Start looking at your days. That is where your solution starts. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in my Facebook group. Please come join the Menopause Method, hormone and weight loss support. If you've got questions, I am answering menopause questions all month long. So please drop a comment here with your question. If you're in my Facebook group, do it there. Send me a message. Let me know what you would like help with around menopause. Happy rest of your day.